The next tool that we will be dealing with is the page layout tool, right? And this tool assists us in putting the music where we need it to be. Alright, page layout. This has a drop down menu. You can insert blank pages, delete blank page. Alright, let's put a title page. Let's insert a blank page, and we're inserting it before page 1. And let me quickly explain this. When we're working in Finale, Finale provides us with handling different parts. We will look at this in detail in another video that I will be preparing. But you can do your changes to one part, or you can do your changes to all parts. When you do it to all parts, it doesn't affect the score. Or you could do it to all parts and the score. You also could do it to selected parts. So, should it be that we had like several instruments, a whole orchestral arrangement, there would be this option for the score, and then you would have all the individual parts being listed here. So, if we're going to put a page before, we could put it only before the score, or only before the parts, or only before a particular part. Okay, so we'll keep this going. Good, so here we have a page been inserted before our piece, and so that can be done at a later time. Let's start moving things around. With the page layout tool, you do have margin lines for each system. Right, so you can define the pages, whether it's a left page or a right page. You can look at spacing the systems evenly, placing just 4 systems on each page. Right, so right away it adjusts that. So you actually can just click on the system and move it around. Right. So those are some ways of operating this tool. So as you see, it moves in one direction, it moves downward. So if I pull a system up, it will not push the systems up. But if I pull the system down, depending on how far down, it will push the other systems down. So that's the direction in which it works. So I'm going to push all of them up, so you see how that works. Right, so all of them are up as far as possible. Now I'm spacing them out. I'm working with some margins here, spacing it out so that it's pretty readable, and the layout looks quite good. Right, and then you go to my selection tool, just removing the margins. Okay, so that's one function of the layout tool, the page layout tool. We can edit based on the systems. We can do this directly by putting in measurements. Most times when I use it, I move it manually, get what it is that I would like, and take it from there. If you are the kind of person to mathematically work things out, this is your option. Now, we can also adjust the page margin for all the left pages or all the right pages and stuff like that. Let's look at the page margin. Now we have handles. There are handles that govern the system. I'm selecting the system here. These govern the system. This is the upper handle. I can make the system spacing smaller in this direction or in this direction. Right? For each of the systems you can do that. You notice the systems are also numbered, so you can keep track of which one that you have edited. And these margins here are for the pages. So I can pull it in, making the margins on the page smaller, right? Or making it larger, taking up a certain amount of space on the page, and it scales everything in whatever direction that you go. So depending on what you want or how you want it to look, these are your margins, and it's pretty decent in terms of how it prints out. Now if it is that we want to, let's think of an application of this. We want to bore holes in our pages. Good. Right, so we need to have more space on the right hand corner of the left page, and we want to have more space on the left hand corner of the right page. Let's look at doing something like that. Now, instead of, if we had a long document, instead of going through all of the documents, we could adjust for left or right pages, basically, right? Good. Right. So all of the left pages would have that adjustment, and all of the right pages would have this adjustment, right? So here it is. Are you watching? Watch this line here as well. See if I move it in, this line moves in. So all of the right pages are having that adjustment. Alright. So actually what would be logical is to move this in, so that it looks something like this. So that if we want to jam our holes right there, then puncher will not be punching out our music. Alright, so that's quite useful. And it would adjust for all pages that would have been in the document. So that's your page margin, adjust for left and right pages. You can also adjust for a range of pages. Alright, now you can look at the page size. Now there's a standard size based on what I had selected. Alright, so let's just change up some things using a letter size now. Of course, we get a different size paper on which our document resides. So that could be changed later on. So if you really did not put in on the right measurements, we have some of them here, and you could actually specify as well. Alright, we could also change the orientation and allow it to be landscape. So all of those different changes that we would want to do are done in the page layout tool. Anything that has to do with how your page is looking, alright, has to do with the page layout tool. I'm going to try and do something weird. Alright, all pages. Alright. I'm not sure if this will work, but I'm just going to make the right pages the hymnal size, and the left pages will be right. And look at what it did. The hymnal size, it's in the orientation of layout, and then this is a letter size. And then if we had another page here, it would be the hymnal size, stuff like that. So whatever the application that it is that we want, we could basically use our page layout tool to achieve that. Now, there are two other items in the menu that I will assist persons with based on needs and how you see me applying it, maybe in another video. Want to resize the page 80%. Resize it and you hold the margins to what we had. So the margins didn't move, but the size of the print on the page did. And it can be expansion as well. So everything on the page got bigger and it flowed onto another page and so forth. Right? Now, system reduction has to do not with the sizing of the page, but the sizing of the system. So right now the scaling is 70%. I'm going to resize the system to 60%. The page is still the same, and I can decide which system. Let's use systems 1, 2 to 3, so you'll see the difference. So 1, 2, 3 small, next one big. Alright, so that's what the system reduction does, and you could have it at larger. Right, so here it is that the page is, let's put it at 100% for the page. So you see the page is at normal now. However, the notes on the page and everything in the system itself is actually larger. So the page layout controls the display of the items on your page and helps to have a smooth layout, a smooth printing style, and this is just awesome, something that we, especially when we're finished with our score and we want to allow it to be presentable, page layout tool is what we use.